It's time, folks. We are going to repaint this bad boy. Let's start by getting the pieces together and getting it sanded. Just a quick little note that I'm going to add into the video when I'm doing this. We need to file off these, and I like to use these, which are ladies' manicure files, for doing things like this. If it's on a flat surface, top tip. There's the logo gone. Personal preference as well. If I am ever repainting toys, I generally like to find where the seam is, and I will extra sand that area to try and flatten it out, just so that when you're painting it, it doesn't pop out as much. You can see I've done it all the way around. You'll have to sand it anyway for the paint to adhere better, but I do like to give those areas a little bit of extra attention. So much nice detail in this. I'm really looking forward to it being done. And inside there is one of those sneaky little warnings on here, so if you want to get rid of that, you can do that. And there was also a serial number up there. I've gotten rid of that as well. I think that is all of the sort of giveaways. I'm gonna sand everything, and then I'm gonna give it a black undercoat. Make sure you're wearing your mask. Here's everything all sanded, just to give it a little bit of tooth when we undercoat it. Now I need to clean it, and then I'm going to spray it with black undercoat. It's going to be a noisy one. There's a lot of work going on out here, but I'm about to dry brush these lightsaber parts. Silver acrylic, and hopefully we can bring up some good detail. Here's a start. We're probably looking at a good hour or so of this. So to block out the noise going on out there where they're building, and to not bore you, I'm just going to do this over and over again. So I will speed it up for you. This is what I have to listen to while I'm painting, by the way. Doesn't lend itself to concentration. Okay friends, we've made a good start on this. We're getting the bluing going. It's bringing out some lovely detail. Given it's just a wee toy, it's not too bad. So we need to do that probably another 3 or 4 times to get it to look really silvery and whatnot. But that's the first run through. Really nice. This here I'm probably going to hit it really hard, so we'll lose most of that sort of darkness on there and it will look more silvery, but it's not bad. It's getting there in certain bits. You can see here I've hit it harder. Okay, I'll come back when my arm regains feeling. Okay, one more run through, I think, maybe 2. It's starting to get that shine on it. And you can see all the lovely shadows. I like doing it this way more than painting it chrome and then wiping off inks. I feel like this makes it look, I don't know, a bit more detailed. It's not too bad for a plastic toy. Definitely need to get into here more. And up here and here. And then maybe run it a little bit more wet along the edges, but yeah, it's not looking too shabby given it's how cheap it was. Obviously the crystal I'll be doing a color, and I'll be doing the wraps a color and whatever else. I just need to work out what I'm going to do it, but it's looking pretty nice so far. Time for some gold. See how this goes. It looks very watery compared to the normal acrylic that I use, but we'll give it a go. Gently does it, as usual. I won't bore you. I'm just going to do this middle bit. I'll speed it up for you. Okay, a little bit of gold on there. Hopefully you can see it. I know it's natural light out here, but I know it's not very good. Looking nice and shiny now. Hopefully you're getting that shine. Got to paint these all black. Thinking of maybe inking them. I'm not sure. Trying to work out whether to leave everything silver or maybe do some color on it somehow. Because just gold and silver is a bit meh. It's a wee bit boring. I don't know. We'll see how we go. I haven't done the inside because you're not going to see that when it's together anyway. But I hope you can see how nice and shiny that's looking. Yeah. Hello, another day, another noisy workman outside. I'm hoping you can hear me clearly enough to know what we're going to do. Today is detail work. So the buttons, I've decided on red and blue. The reason for that is I was going to go red and green, but it looked a bit like a traffic light. So red and blue it is. And the other reason, a little pop of colour, because it's very bland at the moment, being all metals. These bits here are usually black on lightsabers, so I am going to go over that with some inking, but I might leave the top a little bit metal so it looks like it's been rubbed off. This bit here, I'm assuming is meant to be a wrap, like a leather wrap. I don't know, it's not very well done because it stops part of the way through, but that's what I'm going to do rather than more metal, just to break it up a little bit when it's together. So I'm going to dry brush this brown. I'm going to start with a dark brown and work my way up. I've got my 3 browns here. What else have we got on here? I think that is it. Maybe a little bit of inking to dirty things up. Also, I think it is going to scratch some of the paint off, even with a clear coat that I've got, just because it's so tight when I put it back together. But that's okay because it's going to be on display anyway. But I'm letting you know, if you want to be able to easily pull them apart and put them back together, sand more vigorously than I did. That's where we're at. So a little bit of detail work on here with the red and blue. We'll see how we go. Button's done. I had a bit of a disaster there with one of my paints. It turned to like rubber almost, so it's a little bit lighter than I wanted, but yeah, that's done. Next up, I was trying to work out what way to put it together, because you can actually put it together whatever way you want, but I'm going to go with how it was on the box. So the bit that's going to be brown is actually the larger part here, and that's what I'm going to do next. I'm assuming it's supposed to be a wrap. I can't really think of what else it could be, but that will break it up from the silver to the silver anyway. So I'm gonna go with that. That's next. So some dark brown on the whole thing, and then a little bit of dry brushing with this one. I'm hoping I don't have to do the edges with this one as well. I think that might be enough. Brown done, base coat. Blue done, base coat. Buttons done. In case you're wondering why I take things off, by the way, when they're smallish or even largish, it's easier for me to see the edges with the tape because my eyesight is so terrible. I get injections in my eyes, so that is why. It's not that I'm being lazy. It is sort of easier to feel the edge sometimes than actually see it. It's very blurry when I'm painting it, so there we go. All right, back to this when it's all nice and dry, and we'll do a lighter dry brush on this and a lighter dry brush on this, and I think that'll be it finished. Exciting. Just a top tip, if you're looking to gloss something up and really protect it, like these two little buttons, this is what I use. I got it off my daughter. It's like a nail polish glossy top coat. It's really thick. It's like plastic almost when it dries. I use this on other toys as well. It's really, really good. Yeah, that's it. So I've just done those. I didn't film it because I thought it was recording and it wasn't. You'll see the color start to come up straight away because I've got it quite wet. Do it both ways. Glad I decided to do this. I think it'll break up all the metal. If you've skipped into this video and you haven't watched it all the way through, I apologize for the sound. I'm working outside and they are building apartments all around me at the moment. Got to catch those edges too. It's very odd how they stopped the pattern. But anyway, it looks alright. For a cheap $25 toy, not too shabby. Now I know I said I didn't want to use this, but I am going to use a teeny bit of this just to get the edge a little bit more defined. Just a teeny. Oh, looks alright. Now, a little bit of, will we go silver? I think we'll go silver. There we go, bluey silver. Okay, next up, the black. I'm going to water down some black so it seeps into the deeper areas but not so much into the top area. Doesn't matter that the water's dirty because it's black, so it's only going to go black. If you're lucky enough to be able to afford the fancy inks, use those, don't use this. This is for us poor people. Just add some black anywhere you feel like you want it a bit more dirty. You just rub it with your finger. Make sure you get it off if you're doing this. You don't want to put a big black blob after all your hard work. And if you've got an airbrush, my goodness, lucky you. This kind of gives that little airbrush effect without an airbrush. If you go too heavy-handed with this, remember you can just dry brush it with silver again. Gentle, gentle. I think that's enough fiddling. Sometimes you can over-fiddle. I think that black's probably dry. Tiny bit of silver. Teeny tiny. I think that'll do, you know. I think we're finished. Let's get this tape off. Oh, it looks really shiny up against the brown now. We are done. I'll take some photos and put them up. It's it out here in the natural light. It's probably a little bit shinier than it'll look indoors, but you can see when we dry brushed there, we didn't go too heavy on it, just a little splash, unlike here, like over and over and over and over again. And with a little finger rub as well. Okay, that's that bit. This bit here, you can see those glossy buttons. That was with the nail varnish that I mentioned when I was doing it. I like how the plastic looks. Can you see that? I like how the plastic's got all those little divots. It's kind of real. I mean, and there's the black that we did. Looks all right. Ah, more tape. Let's get this off too. So you know when you think your camera's recording but it's actually died on the tripod? That's what happened. So I'm hoping to pick up where I think I was roughly. I think I had just finished everything. So that was dry brushing this silver, this little gem bit here, the kyber crystal. We did some dirtying up. I'm hoping the camera caught that. I think it probably did. That was just with some watered down black paint. Did that in a few weak areas. I think I mentioned the putting some silver paint on your finger if you can't reach places and giving it a little rub like there. The buttons, we did the buttons and we used the clear acrylic gel coat or something it is. My daughter gave me. It's nail polish, like protectant, and that turned out really nice. I'm quite glad I went with the red and blue, not the red and green. I think that would have looked funny. We dirtied this up. I love this plastic. It's sort of got lots of little bumps. I'm hoping that you can see that. It looks kind of cool. Anyway, and last but not least, we dry brushed the wrap. We'll call it a wrap. Up here, I'm still to do this button silver, I've just realized, but that's a quick little thing with the tiny brush. And we did a little bit of silver on here just to make it look a little bit worn. But that's it. That wrap there will be covered. I think it's this that goes over the top of it. Yeah, it is. So that'll be covered, so you won't see that anyway. But that's it. That's that all done. That was this one. The Mace Windu lightsaber forge. I will be doing all the others in this series. So I've got the 4 basic ones, so that if you want to follow along, you can do that as well. It's basically acrylic paint, lots of brushes, lots of patience for all that dry brushing, and you should get a fairly good result. I'll take some pictures now and put them up so that you can see it all finished, and I'll crack on with the next one. If you haven't subscribed and this is your bag, hit the subscribe button, because I'll be doing all of these, as I said, and I'm hoping to get the other ones in the collection as well. I'm just doing these for a personal display, not for anything too special. All right, that's it. I will catch you on the next one, and until then, take care of yourself.